get out your dichotomous key. What in the world is a dichotomous key? Well, we brought the right person to talk about that. Mandi Bottoms from Ag in the Classroom is here. So you have a dichotomous key, a very big 4-syllable word. What in the world does that mean?
Yeah, we're sharing a activity today that you can do at home, and it's about a dichotomous key, which is basically, you've probably seen them. They look a little bit like those question trees. Kids love doing them, but they're actually used in science because that's how there's a million organisms out there, and some of them are really hard to identify. And so scientists come up with a way that you can see the physical attributes of living things, or melons in this case, and you can ask questions that can help guide you to identifying it correctly.
I love that. Kind of like being a Lewis and Clark adventurer, right? That's what you're doing.
And we developed this at Ag in the Classroom, and when we were working on it, we were like, well, let's just give them a dichotomous key. And they were like, wait, they can create their own dichotomous key. All they need to do is observe the different qualities of melons and then figure out what questions can they ask to help split the group. And you just keep splitting it till you have one melon left.
Oh,
so
my goodness.
We're going to do that today.
That is cool.
Yeah.
So, you know, I tell moms and dads and grandparents all the time, take your kids to the market and let them pick out the melon of the week. You know, because you can find 15 different varieties of melons. So let the kids pick out their own and then get out their dichotomous key.
Yes, and they can create it. So we have 5 different melons here, and you do not have to go and buy 5 melons. In fact, you could buy 2 and just use that as an example. We actually, on this worksheet, which we'll share with you, it has images of the different melons. So if you don't want to go buy 5, there's images of 5 different melons on there. And basically you look at the melons and there's a chart on there, and they start thinking about how are they different. So they look at each melon variety, and let's do honeydew as an example. So this is a honeydew melon, and the first question is, what is the skin color? And I'll let you share. Oh, this one's a little bit tricky to describe. How would a kid describe this?
Whitish, beige, yeah. Little green tinge to it.
Yeah, a little bit green. What about the flesh color?
Well, it's white and green.
Yeah.
White around the seed cavity.
Yeah, and you can see that there's this dark green kind of around the outside by the skin. And then what about the texture of the skin? What does it feel like to you?
Oh, well, right now it's very smooth.
Definitely.
As it ripens, it'll get a little sticky.
Yep, okay, great. And then is there anything else that you notice about this melon that might set it apart from other melons?
It's nice and big.
Okay, great. Size is another great way.
Okay.
So students go through that, or your kids at home go through that, and they do it for every single melon, talking about the skin, the flesh, texture, all of that. And they can use their own words. They don't have to have special science words for it, whatever they do. And then what you're going to do is you're going to start thinking of questions that can help you split the group. So Michael, what would be a question that could take all of these melons and divide it into 2 groups, thinking about those traits that we just talked about?
A smooth skin versus a net.
Exactly.
That muskmelons would have.
So let's go ahead and do that now. Let's put the honeydew over here.
Smooth skin.
Smooth skin, and
Santa Claus is a smooth skin.
And then
Canary is a smooth skin. So we've separated them.
Now we've separated, and we have 2 over here that have the rough, or we call it netted in the industry. Okay, so now we take these groups and we want to split them even more.
Okay.
So let's take, what question would you ask about these 2 melons that could
Color
split
of the
it?
flesh.
Exactly. So does it have orange flesh? Yes goes over here. No would go over here. And we've sorted those out. So now they could ask 2 questions, the texture of the skin and the color of the flesh, and they'll be able to identify these 2 melons. This, we got 3 over here.
Yes,
so how could we divide these guys up?
Color of the skin.
Okay, let's do it again. So after we do texture of the skin, let's do color. So what would the color be, or the question?
Well, we got a yellow one there, canary color.
Great. So does it have yellow skin? Could go over there.
This is actually called toad skin. So it kind of like looks like a skin of a toad.
So let me stop you there, because one tricky thing about dichotomous key is it can only be 1 question per trait. So even though we have 3 attributes here, you can only ask 1 question at a time. So this question would be, does it have yellow skin?
Okay.
Yes goes here, no's over here, and then we have to ask 1 more question to split these last 2. So we've done a lot about the skin. Could we do something about the inside? That's going to be a little tricky for this one. They're pretty similar. What do you think? Yeah,
they have a greenish, whitish flesh. This totally white flesh.
Yeah. So how could we split these 2?
You'd have to taste it.
I love that.
Yeah,
you're the
I do
expert.
too.
So how would you say these two taste different?
Well, this is going to be super sweet.
Okay, great.
Especially they came from your farm. They're super sweet.
So the question could be, is the melon very sweet? And the kids could taste it and they would say, okay, the honeydew, yes.
Is it juicy?
Very sweet. And then this one, no. Another one I thought about is there space between the seeds? They might be able to see that.
Oh, what's the seed cavity like?
Yeah, what's the seed cavity like?
Okay.
So they can do that. And then we actually have a worksheet where they can diagram it out so they have a visual to go with it
Love
too.
it.
And then they should definitely eat the melons
Get your
afterwards.
kids, yes, definitely eat the melons. Dichotomous key. Tell us how they could get this dichotomous key.
Yes, this is on our website, learnaboutag.org. This is part of our farm to school resources. So we work with school districts across the state, provide them with resources that help teachers bring farming and food into their classroom. And so this activity is in there too.
I'm so glad you brought the honeydew. I'm going to eat that honeydew.
Do.
Thank you so much for being with us, Mandi. And we will see you next time.